big petri dishes. So teachers have legitimate concerns about that.
COVID confusion. Teachers across Northeast Ohio are now eligible for the coronavirus vaccine. So why are some teachers getting shots while others say they are left waiting in the dark?
February is off to a little bit of a snowy start.
Well, we've had consistent snow across Northeast Ohio the last 24 hours. There's more on the way tonight, and then we turn our eyes towards some polar air heading our way. We've got it all in the details coming up in the forecast.
And what's called fast ice. Incredible video of a snowmobiler falling into a lake and managing to crawl back out. What you need to know to stay safe this winter.
Plus, what to buy in the month of February. You might be surprised at the deals and steals and the items our experts say you should not shop for this month. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And hello again, Northeast Ohio, and come on in to see what's new. Thank you so much for joining us on today's program. I hope you had a great weekend. Betsy Kling is back in studio. We're thrilled about that. I'm Jay Crawford. Betsy, I know that your family's going to miss you because you've really bonded over the last 6 weeks or whatever it's been, but boy, we love having you back in the building.
I feel like I should pause for a couple seconds and then begin speaking every time I do it, just for old time's sake, right? The delay that we have to deal with is so brutal. But yeah, it was a little melancholy today when I left the house. I have never had the opportunity to have dinner with my girls and put my girls to bed every night. And that, I mean, the last month and a half I've gotten to do that. I got to tell you, that's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to do it consistently. So I'm blessed with that, but it's great to be.
We're sad for them because I know they're going to miss Mom. I know they're going to miss you, but we're glad to have you back. So welcome back.
Well, today they were chomping at the bit to go sledding because of the snow that is coming down. And the cold weather across Northeast Ohio is very much top of mind around the area. We do have some beautiful shots to show you from over Portage Lakes, and they have seen some very, very nice snow down there. It's sticking to everything, this wet snow. You can see that there are some fisher folks out on the lakes, and we're going to have more information about ice conditions across Northeast Ohio and why you have to be wary every single time you even inch out onto a body of ice. Now, the other part of this whole thing, of course, would be the roads, which are a little challenging in some locations. On the left, you see a live look at snow mode of the radar, and you can see there is a lot of snow that's coming down in the metro area. This is all lake enhanced and lake effect snow, and it is starting to slow things down a little bit on the roadways. I don't think this is anything abnormal for February 1st in Northeast Ohio, okay? But you can see that the bridge deck there at I-90 at Columbia Road, which is in the foreground of the picture, the background, of course, I-90. There is some snow that's on the roadways. The ground is frozen, so just be advised. You got to plan a couple extra minutes. But at this point, no advisories, no warnings, no nothing, just some snow showers falling in Northeast Ohio. Matt's got an update coming up in a few minutes. Wait till you hear what the temperatures look like next week.
I have a feeling I know where we're going with that. All right, Bets, now on your feed at 5. Today is the first day that K through 12 educators in Ohio are eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine. That's the good news. The bad news, the rollout, if you want to call it that, is not going smoothly at all. Our Romney Smith joins us live now. Romney, you spoke with more than 6 systems today. What's the overall feeling?
Well, you're not going to hear from all 6 because some of them would not even comment on the vaccine situation because there is so little to go on right now, and they're frustrated. It's causing a lot of issues right now. Bottom line, they are all waiting on the ESC, which is the Educational Service Center, to tell them when they'll get the vaccine and when they can roll out their vaccination plan. Now, that ball got rolling in Akron recently, and they're getting 780 doses, but they have 3,000 eligible people who want it, so right now they're actively working to change their plan.
We're very, very close to a solution, I think. I can't tell you what it is right now because every time I make a commitment to something on this, the amoeba changes shape.
In PARMA City Schools, they have plans ready to go, but they're patiently waiting to learn more information.
We've always wanted clear answers and clear timelines, and yet what we've learned is that those are few and far between when you're dealing with this virus.
So right now it's a waiting game, and what's even more frustrating, Jay, is they have to make sure that the second dose that they have to get doesn't coincide with spring break. So clearly a lot of logistics to work out, since some districts say at this point on Monday, February 1st, they still have no idea when to expect to get the vaccine or how much.
Slightly problematic. Romney Smith live from the newsroom on this Monday night. Romney, thanks.
Well, she's been an all-star in answering your COVID vaccine questions for days now. So we're going to bring back Monica to tackle a couple more of those. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, joins us now. And Monica, yesterday on Meet the Press, an infectious disease expert said we should consider just giving people one vaccine dose so more people can get vaccinated. I have heard conflicting reports on this idea. So is this starting to sound like more of a serious consideration now?
Well, Michael Osterholm is an epidemiologist who advised President Biden's transition team on the COVID-19 pandemic and suggested the president should focus on giving as many first doses as possible and delay second doses because at least one dose gives you some protection. Now, he's not the first to suggest this because the UK is delaying second doses as much as 12 weeks to get those in priority groups covered by mid-February. And while the CDC says we can now wait up to 6 weeks between doses, we'll have to wait and see if this is even a viable plan. Now, you might get about 50% protection after one dose, and there is very preliminary research indicating one dose might be effective for those who already had COVID. But Dr. Anthony Fauci warns delaying the second dose might cause those variants we've been talking about to spread even faster. And I think watching what happens in the UK will give us some more clear insight on whether or not this would even work. So no, at this time, it is not an approved protocol, but it doesn't mean they're not paying attention and possibly even considering it, Bets.
Yeah, well, I am very excited to report my dad is scheduled to get his first shot tomorrow. And so we have been waiting for that to go down. So you've been warning seniors about not getting fooled by scammers. My father has been warned. My mother has been warned. Do you have any more tips for folks as they're getting out into lines?
Yeah, I know Tim and Sue. I'll call them myself on this one. But first of all, what everybody needs to remember is make sure you remember specifically all those places that you've registered so you might know who would be calling you to get your appointment scheduled. Now, if somebody calls and says you have to pay for your vaccine or you have to pay to get your appointment or they ask you for credit card or banking information, hang up. Now, you may be asked for your insurance, Medicare, Medicaid information because vaccine providers can charge an administration fee for giving someone the shot. However, that fee will be covered by your insurance, not you. You will not be asked to pay. Now, the scammers will typically be calling you and asking you for your social security number and banking info. That's when you need to hang up. And listen, if you're not sure about all this, tell them you'll bring all the necessary information with you to your vaccination appointment and then deal with the doctor or pharmacist or nurse or whoever's giving you your vaccine directly. That's the safest way to do it, Bets. Don't give any more information over the phone than you don't have to.
Awesome. This is why Tim and Sue refer to you as good people. Thank you, Monica. We'll see you again coming up at 6.
Sure.
I want to know what you have to do to get in line for that personal phone call from Monica Robbins.
Right?
that is service with a smile right there. I love this next story, history in the making. Larry Connor is a 71-year-old businessman from Dayton. Let's just say he's done all right for himself. Real estate is his business. He's a billionaire. And next year, he's going to make history by becoming the first pilot of a private mission ever to travel to the International Space Station. In fact, next January, Connor will become the second oldest person ever to venture into space when he'll be part of a 4-person team making up the first fully private crew to visit the International Space Station when he does so with Axiom Mission 1. Now, an Axiom exec, who is also a former astronaut, will lead that crew. Reportedly, the other 3, including Connor, paid $55 million apiece for the 8-day trip to space. Connor, though, would not confirm that exact number. He did say, though, that the way he's looking at it, this is an investment in the future of all mankind.
The public sector, specifically NASA, they've done a really good job. But if we, as a nation or as a world, are really going to move space forward, you're going to have to get the private sector involved. And the fact is, whether anybody likes it or not, that initial investment is going to be really high.
Yeah, it's going to be about $55 million high. Connor says he plans on doing medical research for the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic while he's in space. The team will go through about 4 months of training and medical tests before they're expected to take off in January of 2022. Now, Betsy, there's been a twist in this story. Literally within the last 30 minutes, SpaceX, which is owned by Elon Musk and a huge competitor to Axiom, just announced that they will be sending the first ever all-civilian crew to space, and they're going to do it before 2021 is out. So the space race is on, but it's not like it used to be between Russia and the United States. This space race is privately funded between two companies that desperately want to be the first. That's pretty interesting, really.
So if you were ever given the opportunity, somebody would pay for you, you don't have to spend a dime, would you do it?
I'm there. I'd be the first in line. How about you?
I totally would. I'm just enough of a nerd to embrace the science part of it and an adventurer to know that that's my chance.
Yeah, when I was a kid and they had the moon mission and I saw, the astronauts could actually levitate, no gravity. I'm like, sign me up for that. I want to experience that. All right, still ahead on What's New. It is Money Monday. It's also the 1st of February. And if you're a regular viewer of What's New, you know that we love to tell our viewers every month items that they should buy and which ones they should avoid. We're going to do that next. And Betsy, I will say some of these are a little surprising.
Yeah. Then a sad update for everyone on Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond. We'll have the details on his battle with cancer ahead in Pop Break. We'll also, of course, keeping a close eye on the forecast. We've been watching the snowflakes fly, but wait till you see what Matt has in the forecast. And I'll tell you, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm blaming Matt for this one, too. That's straight ahead.
Yeah, you got me okay?
Well, this month brings one of the top sales weekends of the entire year with President's Day going on, but there's other opportunities to get deals this month. Consumer investigator Danielle Serino is here now with what to buy in February and what to skip.
If you took a shopping break in January because you went to town for Christmas, put on your parka, get clicking on that computer, because the deals are here.
Think about the events that happen in February. You've got the Super Bowl, you've got Valentine's Day, and you have President's Day. And retailers always like to plan their sales around different holidays and events.
So it's time to tune into TV sales, but buyer beware.
We see a lot of discounts on TVs that are not the highest quality, or they're discounted because they are not as popular. Research the quality so you are getting what you want instead of a cheaper version.
Also, stock up on snacks. They're on sale too. For President's Day, drive off with a car deal. It's the first official sales event of the year for most dealerships. Also, rest easy if you need a mattress. The holiday is famous for those sales.
You want to start doing your research ahead of time so you know where you want to buy, and then you want to either visit in person or click to buy online.
And throughout the whole month, you can find sales on home goods, especially this year, because retailers know how much time we're spending at home.
That includes things like kitchen items, linens, even furniture, anything you need for your home. It's a perfect time to buy in February because we see such big discounts.
That's also true for winter wear, which takes us to what you shouldn't buy this month, spring clothing. As tempting as it may look, the same holds true for springtime products.
So things like garden-related items, anything for your outdoor patio area, those prices do tend to be higher.
Also higher as we near Valentine's Day, prices for jewelry, chocolates and flowers too, although you can find deals at the supermarkets. But if you wait until after the romance, you can score on those, as well as perfumes. With any item, though, to make sure it's the best price.
I always recommend going to a site called Camel. If you can find the item at Amazon, you enter that into Camel, and it will give you the price history for maybe the past year, both at Amazon and at other retailers. That way you can check, is this one of the best prices that's been offered, or really a not so great price? And that would suggest you put off buying it till the price gets better.
And while most people don't like to talk about it, today is the deadline for employers to send out W-2s. So it's this month that tax software companies start offering discounts to early filers. I'm Danielle Serino, 3 News.
Oh, you should have seen Jay's eyes light up when the camel came on. He was so excited.
I love stats and
charts,
and
stats.
yeah, graphs and all that good stuff. I didn't know that was even a thing. You can find out when the best time to buy a product is. I love that.
How you didn't end up in weather, I don't know.
You know what? I'm a weather person at heart.
There you go.
Speaking of weather, Matt Wentz, great to see you again. Your weather word today is lucky, and I'm going to explain why. After watching the snow that was dumped in places like New York City and Philadelphia, really the entire northeast Atlantic seaboard, I feel lucky that we live here in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jay, you got that right. You know, this is the same storm, the one that's causing the snow over in New York right now and up the eastern seaboard. That's the same storm that produced over a foot in Chicago. It produced all that snow out west. This thing put down some moisture across the U.S., and yeah, we were one of the lucky ones. We escaped some of the heavier snow as we saw that low kind of transfer its energy. But it's going to continue to be snowy tonight. This is the same system. We've got a lingering low overhead. If you joined me last night, we had the widespread snow showers, more widespread snow showers tonight. Heaviest near the lakeshore over the next couple hours. We'll continue with those flurries overnight. We should see the coverage of the snow start to kind of diminish as we go throughout the overnight hours. But pretty good push of energy right now coming across the system. You can see kind of the uptick in some of these snow showers coming down pretty good in spots. You can see some of the darker blues, areas of Cuyahoga County, out towards the western side. Not the snow belt, but our secondary snow belt here, and then back down towards Ashland. That's all due to wind direction coming out of the northeast. You can see as we put the wind on there, that's picking up a little bit of lake moisture and kind of dumping a little bit than you'd have if you didn't have Lake Erie around. So, yeah, some heavier rates here and there, and just like last night, You're going to have some slick roads out there that aren't treated. If they are treated, you're okay. If not, they are going to get slick out there. So a little extra caution as you're out driving. Snow, Cuyahoga County down towards Medina getting snow. That stretches down into Wayne County. Ashland along 71 getting some pretty good bursts. And this is going to come and go overnight tonight. It's not going to be totally consistent. You can see there are some breaks in there as well, especially further east. This is the big bopper, though. This is the nor'easter now really strengthening, heading up the eastern seaboard. 1 to 2 feet of snow and getting some of this lingering uplift with the moisture that's in place from our original low. And this will start to wind down, not just tonight, but really tomorrow. In terms of snowfall totals, yeah, we're going to see a little bit across Ohio, but the bulk of it's going to be out east, where they're expecting, again, 1 to 2 feet of snow, especially up in the mountains. For us locally, I think 1 to 3 inches ought to do it. Maybe isolated 4s over here. This is all through tomorrow morning. I think our model a little bit underdone on this, but again, you see where the heaviest totals are going to be due to that wind direction, so we're not going to see quite as much out east, but another coating, much like we had last night, of just a couple inches. So your hour-by-hour forecast brought to you by National Design Mart. You can see the model agrees. Pretty good snow over the next couple hours, and then things will start to die out with just a couple remaining bands out there. Temperatures tonight falling back a little bit colder than where we've been last few nights. We should be generally into the 20s, but given how cold it could be this time of year, I think we're feeling pretty lucky out there in terms of these temperatures. Tomorrow, I think we'll see a little bit of sunshine out there as you get out away from the snow belt. Otherwise, we have lingering flurries and lake clouds as you get towards the snow belt. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be on the chilly side, generally in the 20s. The long range, though, we've got temperatures that aren't too bad here, but up in Canada, boy, it is cold, and that cold is set to unlock next week. It's all due to systems going up into Canada, including that nor'easter that will dislodge us there. So we're talking Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for us, still looking very frigid around here. This will be the coldest air of the season. And yeah, temperatures may struggle to get out of the teens, and lows, well, we'll try to keep them above zero for you. How about that? Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. There you go, lingering snow tomorrow. Here's our next system. We'll talk more about that in our next half hour, some rain to snow. And then temperatures, whoop, they go down Sunday and Monday, Jay and Betsy. We're talking temps that are going to be back into the teens. It's going to feel very chilly around here. Let's just put it that way.
That's right. We've been waiting for it. It's about time it gets here. All right, Matt, thanks so much. We'll catch up with you again in just a few minutes. Up next for us here on What's New, you might remember Jessica Simpson's confusion with tuna and chicken, which is so endearing and cute, right?
Yeah.
Well, now she's coming to Subway's defense after allegations that their tuna sandwich doesn't actually have tuna in it.
Yes, they're not alone. Then this dog and its owner take vacuuming to a whole new level. You're going to see it. It's ahead in our Worth the Watch video. My dogs would never allow that, Betsy.
No?
Never allow that. Well, this week, the Save Our Sauce campaign takes us to Asia Town. You're looking at DAGU, Rice Noodle on Payne Avenue. They offer takeout and delivery and could use your business like so many local restaurants. Remember, Asian restaurants were hit extra hard at the start of the pandemic due to stigmas and COVID-19 fear. You can visit WKYC.com for a full list of great restaurants in this neighborhood. From our Doug Tratner. What's New? Coming right back.
actually have helped me. You've made me realize that there are a million fish in the sea and I'm just a worm to attract them.
Well, some sad news tonight to report about former Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond. You remember him as Screech on the 90s sitcom about life as a high school student, Saved by the Bell. A spokesperson said that he died this morning when he was taken off breathing machines that had to come off so he could be moved to hospice. Diamond was just diagnosed with cancer only 3 months ago. He was 44 years old. Diamond also appeared in Celebrity Fit Club, The Weakest Link, and Celebrity Boxing 2. Now, here's Kiara Cotton with more celebrity news.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since Dale Moss announced that he and former Bachelorette Claire Crawley would be going their separate ways. In a tearful Instagram Live over the weekend, he reflected on how hard the breakup has been for him.
And I felt so many emotions, so much guilt, but also so much confusion, so much hurt. And I know that we both have.
Before ending the live, Moss thanked everyone for their love and support of both him and Claire and said, "Whatever the case, I know that we'll figure this out together." So maybe there's hope for a reunion. Moving on to a new lawsuit that alleges that Subway tuna doesn't contain any tuna. Singer and entrepreneur Jessica Simpson is familiar with the confusion.
Is this chicken what I have or is this fish?
That was a scene from Simpson's show Newlyweds, where she had a hard time understanding that many believe that tuna is the chicken of the sea. The 40-year-old took to Twitter over the weekend, offering her support to the sandwich franchise, saying, "It's okay, Subway. It is confusing. According to Subway, there is no truth to the allegations." And love has found Cleveland Cavaliers star Kevin Love. The 32-year-old took to Instagram yesterday to announce his engagement to model Kate Bach. Sharing a picture of the two kissing, Love wrote, "Souls tend to go back to who feels like home. My fiance, the joy of my life." Love popped the question during Bach's 33rd birthday celebration. In her own Instagram caption, she wrote, "I couldn't be happier to have been asked to be loved by my love." Don't you just love love? I know I do. And if you're looking for a way to celebrate Valentine's Day this year, we have a complete guide up right now on WKYC.com. Back to you guys.
Sarah Cotton, thank you very much. Yeah, amor, love, right? Oh, it is the month of love. And this is a different love that we're talking about. This dog loves to be vacuumed. And I think there's probably some other dogs out there that like this too, maybe even some cats. The dog will literally follow around his mama with the vacuum and just lays there. Look, he's like, more, more, more. And he'll follow her around begging to be vacuumed. I think this is totally worth the watch for the day.
I do too. It makes me smile, but I can tell you this right now, Layla, the oldest of my two Goldens, has more hair by 100 times than would fit in that little canister. She'd fill that up one swipe across her belly.
Our dog used to attack the attachment on the canister vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd get her little tongue in
like
there,
it.
and you'd hear it like it was so fun.
That's adorable, though. It really is cute.
All righty, well, still ahead for us here on What's New. Incredible video out of Akron. If you've not seen this yet, this is such a good lesson to learn right now. Show your kids. A snowmobiler breaks through the ice. How she's doing, that's the good news, and the warning from experts.
That is some scary video.
Oh, it's just so fast.
Then, if you're thinking 2021 is beginning to feel like 2020, trust me, you're not alone. What Indians fans need to know about spring training this year.
Oh boy, and we're gonna check in with our Jason Fraser, who set out to live a healthier lifestyle this year, his progress that he's making, and his message to anybody trying to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take this.
Gotcha.
You can take the stand off. Huh? take a stand up.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I don't want to break them. Test, test, test. Yes, I can hear you. Hello. Can you hear me? Test, 1, 2. I hate to use the word winter wonderland, but behold it. It's just beautiful out here. I'm getting slapped upside the face like I stole something. Okay. Okay. Woo, girl.
Yeah, hold on.
Whose idea was this again? Did we say?
Hold on.
Did we say we like this idea?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now, snow in February, of course, is nothing new, and neither.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, everybody, it is the bottom of the hour. We turn the corner, not just from January to February, but coming up in the forecast, we're also going to be turning the corner in the numbers in the forecast.
Yikes.
Get ready, Jay.
Bets, we were talking about this earlier today. Did it not feel like January was a week?
It went so fast.
It feels like the fastest month of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Well, certainly going to be interesting for us.
So we're hoping February and March go just as quickly, and then once we get into warmer weather, things slow down so we can enjoy it. Yep. We all need it. Okay, we begin this half hour with 3 things you need to know. Late this afternoon, a Cleveland police officer was injured during a crash. According to the department, he was chasing after a suspect accused of kidnapping a 16-year-old boy. During the chase, they crashed at the intersection of East 9th and Superior Avenue. The kidnapping victim was taken to the hospital. The extent of his injuries and the officers, unknown at this time. The subject ran away from the scene, but was eventually caught. Number 2, you'll notice our number of new COVID cases are now in the 3,000 range, which is more than 2,200 cases below our 21-day average. That's great news. Our daily positivity rate stands at 8.4%, and even though our hospitalizations are now under 3,000 for 7 straight days, Governor DeWine plans to keep the curfew at 11 p.m. for 2 weeks, of which we're 1 into it. Then he'll reassess. Sadly, 55 more Ohioans lost their lives to complications from COVID-19. And the third thing you need to know at 5:30, millions of Americans are dealing with a major blast of winter. Matt talked about this earlier. The storm stretches from Maine all the way down to Georgia. The nor'easter is bringing blizzard-like conditions to New York City and possibly the biggest snowfall there in 5 years. Meanwhile, coastal flooding is a concern from New Jersey to New England. The storm canceled thousands of flights and also canceled thousands of COVID-19 vaccination appointments throughout the region. And those are the 3 things you need to know.
Well, of course, you want to know what's going on with the forecast here, too. We do have snow coming down in much of northern Ohio, I-90 east and west of Cleveland. Also 71, 77 impacted by the snow that's coming in off of the lake. Also, that snow is aimed west, so it's also moving inland. Plenty going on as far as that goes, but part and parcel with February 1st weather. We do not have any advisories, no watches, no warnings in effect. Just basically slow down, common sense. We've had a couple months under our belt of this already, so we should be perfectly in tune with what's going on. Now, speaking of all of this cold air, it's our top talker today because we have seen a lot of rapid ice formation around northeast Ohio, and icy bodies of water are always tempting for some people to venture out on. But our January Keaton shows us why you should not, at least one reason why. January, first of all, how are you holding up out there? It looks a little chilly, and you have some video that's been getting a lot of buzz around the internet.
Absolutely. First, we'll get to that. But right now, we're down here at North Coast Harbor behind the Rock Hall, and the snow is slapping me upside the head like I stole something. I'm not kidding. But this type of weather, of course, we are used to this in Northeast Ohio. We're also used to weather-related accidents. Every winter, we know it, the lure of this kind of weather, it draws folks out to the ice, braving the elements, and a lot of times it ends in tragedy. Now, this poor woman you're going to see in Portage Lakes was no exception. She was having a day out on a frozen lake and riding her snowmobile when bloop, down she goes through the ice into the frigid water. She was gratefully able to pull herself out of the water and got to shore. Now, the fate of her sunken snowmobile, however, that remains a mystery. This isn't uncommon this time of year. You know, a lot of folks thinking we got a couple of months into the winter time now. The water must be frozen by now. They're ready to walk and ride and play on it. But I talked to Eric Schultz. He's with the U.S. Coast Guard there. He says this is a dangerous, potentially deadly way of thinking. There is no such thing as 100% safe ice.
As people don't prepare and understand the risks. So if you are planning on going on the ice, we definitely recommend to ensure someone knows where you are, what time you're going out, what time you're coming back. Invest in personal locator beacons to assist us as the Coast Guard to be able to find you if we need to. And then just pretty much overall understand that no ice is safe ice.
Yeah, now Litchfield Fire and Rescue says they actually had to rescue a couple of people from the ice. One woman died when they were trying to rescue an animal that was trapped on the ice. They say you should never do that. Never go after and try to save an animal that's trapped on the ice. In fact, you should avoid driving and walking on the ice at all because, as Eric mentioned, no ice is 100% safe. Live in downtown Cleveland, January Keaton, 3 News.
Thank you so much, January. And right now we have fast ice, which is attached to the land that the water is connected to, and it gets very unstable the farther you go out over the water. So, it is such a scary situation. Thank you, January. Get warmed up for us here. And Jay, you know, this time of the year, always here in Northeast Ohio, we end up getting stories like this, right? People just take their risks, and it's just not a risk that's worth taking. I worry most about kids because they see the ice and they think, oh, and they throw rocks on it or they try to play on it. I did it when I was a kid and fell in the water and did the whole thing. It's such a scary situation. So, you know, common sense and caution you can't have enough.
I grew up, Bets, playing pond hockey, and I have to tell you, I had an incident where I thought the ice was fully frozen, and I went right in, and thankfully I was with friends that were able to pull me out, but I just remember being paralyzed by the cold water. It is frightening
nothing
how
worse
fast it happens, too.
Than the sound of cracking ice when you're standing, like you just freeze.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that woman was thinking.
Awful.
All right, still ahead on What's New, we're checking in with Jason Fraser, who's taken us all along on his journey to live a healthier lifestyle. He's going to give us an update on how he's doing mentally and physically with his changes.
And it is February 1st, and it is the first day of Black History Month. We're going to tell you about the first Black-owned and operated automobile company right here in Ohio. And of course, our Matt Wintz is up next with a look at our wintry forecast as the snow continues to fall over downtown Cleveland.
Okay, how about that? Hey! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Yep.
From the tel number, and then I tried to call back and it won't call back. It says call failed. Yeah, right? Yeah, I can hear you. I haven't lost. I'm on my wife's cell phone right now. But then my computer just shut down, so I don't know. Something's really wacky today. I can tell something's off. Okay. To Jay. Okay, cool. All right, thank you very much.
You know, here in Northeast Ohio, we actually don't like it when it's like perfect weather for days on end because it gets a little boring, a little stagnant in the weather forecast. But, you know, lately things are changing quick, and Matt Wintz definitely has plenty more of that to talk about in his forecast. But guess what? Matt Wintz may be talking about it. Are you back?
Hey, I think I'm okay, Betsy. I just oiled up the old computer.
Because they just told me you're doing weather, and I was like, okay,
Yep.
and then you pop up. So I'm going to let you do it, but I'm on standby.
Well, I appreciate it. Betsy, listen, here's the deal. I've gotten so good at fixing things on a whim around here. I know exactly what button to press, what thing to kick. I've thrown a couple computers out the door, so we got it up and running again. This should be good. So I can't fix the forecast in the long term, but we can fix these things, at least get these pictures to you on air. So I appreciate you being on standby there, Betsy. All right, so let's talk the snowfall. We've got a couple more hours of some pretty decent snow for some of you. We don't have a whole lot of snow going on the east side right now. This is all a push off that nor'easter and some lingering moisture with the low pressure that was just kind of left over us over the weekend. But we've got decent snow now. Cuyahoga County, this stretches down into Medina, Lorain County, some decent bursts heading back towards the Mansfield area as well. All courtesy of the wind direction out of the north and the east. So we call this not just lake effect snow, but lake enhanced snow. So you already have snow that's falling due to that system, and then you get more uplift off the lake, some added moisture, and you get likely some heavier rates here and there. So that's what we have right now. The east side that stretches down all the major interstates in greater Cleveland right now, seeing some pretty good snow. Medina, you've been getting decent snow that stretches into northern areas of Wayne County. And this is what the roads look like now. Remember, once we lose that daytime heating, as that sun goes down, things do turn kind of slick, treat it or not. You can see we've got one decent lane there, then that secondary lane. Yeah, I always stay out of that. I don't know, cautious driver. I guess it's just me, but just be careful if you're out and about tonight. The bulk of the snow out towards the east. This is that nor'easter, big old low pressure heading up the eastern seaboard. But look at the quiet weather we'll settle into later this week. But then as we get towards the Thursday time frame, we'll deal with yet another system. But all these storm systems, the nor'easter is going to head due north into Canada. This system, when it passes, is heading due north into Canada. What goes up must come down, and that will dislodge that cold air that I showed you earlier up in areas of Alaska and northern Canada. So we've got temperatures tonight that'll stay generally in the 20s, so this snow will stick. Snowfall amounts from here, again, heaviest on the west side of Cleveland, down towards the Worcester area, Mansfield, especially Lorain, Medina, and the western areas of Cuyahoga County. I think 1 to 3 inches tonight. Maybe an isolated 4 if these bands can stick up, but the bulk will fall over the next couple hours. Let's take a look ahead with your National Design Barn hour-by-hour forecast. Here's our nor'easter. It heads up, like I said, into Canada. Not west to east, but up. So that's one system going up there. Here's our quiet midweek. Our next system will come in with a bit of a further south track. That'll bring some rain and snow in here around Thursday. That'll change to snow as we go into Friday. Not a lot of snow with that, but that system heads north, and that will drag that cold air down. And that cold air is looking real cold at this point, probably the coldest since we've had since 2019. You can see how this looks with everything kind of going up into Canada. That will dislodge this and bring it in here. Time frame on that would be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. It's got a little staying power to it, so we'll see. In fact, last year we didn't have any highs in the teens, so this will be the first year we've had highs in the teens in a while. You can see the 7-day forecast brought to you by Union Home Mortgage. There's our temp drop on Friday, another temp drop on Sunday, and yeah, 15, a low of 5, and that might stick around for Tuesday, Jay. So, you know, this whole bundle up thing, I think, is going to have a whole new meeting next week.
All right, Matt, I will be ready for it. Thank you very much. Well, it's been several months now since our Jason Fraser kicked off his The New You journey. It's been terrific to go along to. And he's been sharing all these lessons that he's learned from his healthy living program with our viewers. In fact, last week we heard from viewer participants, Katie and Kim. They told us how they're doing. Now we hear from Jason himself about his results, what he's learned, and how he plans to keep this series moving forward.
This wellness journey began several months into the pandemic. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I admit I wasn't happy with what I saw. My suits were a little too tight, and staying home meant I wasn't exercising, and I turned to food to help me cope. Because ice cream gives me a lot of joy. As I asked around, I found out I wasn't alone.
There were so many people who were out there who were not only struggling with their weight loss, but also kind of going through what I call the mental health roller coaster.
The pandemic was creating many stressors and roadblocks to living a well-rounded, healthy lifestyle.
My hope was to inspire other people to take control of not only their mental health, but also their physical health, and say that we're going to get through this.
It's why I partnered with the Cleveland Clinic's Wellness Center and 3 News viewers to get things back on track.
If I use this, I'm putting a lot of food on there.
Just understanding that I didn't gain the weight overnight, I didn't get here overnight, and it was going to take time. Throughout this process, I had to say to myself a couple of times, it's going to be okay, you're going to get through it. Small changes lead to medium changes, and medium changes lead to bigger changes.
There were some other things I admit I struggled with. I was anxious about acupuncture, and admit not the biggest fan of yoga. And there were a few challenges too.
At some point, I hit a plateau. I was losing weight, things were good. And then I just hit a wall where I wasn't losing any more weight. And, that for me was hard, because then that meant, okay, well, I need to adjust and continue.
But there were also some perks. My favorite part of the program, of course, involved food.
Jim Perko, the lead chef for the Cleveland Clinic, he talked a lot about making sure that you're having foods that love you back. And now I'm always thinking about, okay, as I'm eating something, is this a food that's going to love me back?
So how did I do? Well, that depends on how you evaluate success.
When I went for my last appointment, there was good news and bad news. So I'll share the bad news first. The bad news was my cholesterol numbers were still fairly high. My other numbers were better. Like my vitamin D levels got better. My weight loss definitely got better. I mean, so many of our viewers contacted me to say, hey, your face is looking slimmer. So I did go down 17 pounds, which I think is, fantastic when you think about, doing a 2.5-month journey.
And while I wish I would have lost more weight, I have to appreciate the progress I have made.
It takes commitment, it takes discipline, it takes time, and it also takes really having a conversation with yourself and saying, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing in the mirror. I'm not happy with what is going on in my life. And you know what? That is okay.
Bottom line, everybody, you know what? I feel a lot more energetic. I'm definitely committed to certainly eating healthy. Even tonight, I have the salmon that we are going to be cooking as soon as I'm done here right on the news. And in the coming weeks, we're going to continue giving you some healthy living tips. But as far as my weight loss journey, we are ending this today. And of course, winter bodies, or I should say summer bodies, are certainly made in the winter. So we're going to continue working out. And, Jay, got to give it to you, man. You gave me a little motivation, as we moved along this. So I appreciate you, and definitely the support of everyone at Channel 3. And I can't forget about my wife, Romney. I have to give her credit too. Okay.
Well, just so you know,
I'm not trying to sleep on the couch tonight.
I always ask Romney when I see her, how is Jason doing? And she says, oh, he's fine, but he's making me eat bird food, which I think is hilarious. Secondly, my motivation played a very small role. All I said on a couple occasions was, I think you look great. And don't minimize 17 pounds. Put 17 pounds of potatoes in a bag. That's no longer with you today. You look great. I'm sure you feel better. And continued success as you try to navigate these very difficult waters.
15 more pounds to go.
You can do it. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
Jason, thank you for sharing it too. And we look forward to continued updates. Well, each day this month, 3 News is celebrating a Black History moment with an Ohio connection.
Our state has strong manufacturing ties, but did you know we're home to the nation's only Black-owned and operated automobile company? Here's Romney Smith with today's Black History moment.
C.R. Patterson & Sons in Greenfield, Ohio, between Columbus and Cincinnati, made the Patterson-Greenfield automobile from 1915 to 1918. Charles Richard Patterson was born a slave, but once freed, he got into the carriage-making trade. After his death, his son continued the business, transitioning from horse-drawn buggies to a 5-person luxury automobile. The company was eventually outpowered by Detroit auto companies with major production lines, and the business closed in 1939. But it cemented its place in American history as the only Black-owned and operated automobile company based right here in Ohio.
I had not heard of that, and that is pretty exciting stuff. Well, tomorrow, a judge who broke racial barriers right here in Cleveland will have that story. Still ahead for us here on What's New. After being let down, the special needs dog is definitely feeling the love. Look at that little baby. Stephanie Haney has the story ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
Is that not a face you just can't help but falling in love with? Then, these are pandas. I saw this earlier today, and I'm telling you, it is terrific.
Yes.
They love the snow. They're like Betsy. They love it.
Yep.
Their ultimate snow day is ahead in Show Us Something Good. I just watched it 5 times.
That looks like me too, actually, in the snow.
And a happy ending is in sight for a special needs rescue dog in Westchester, Ohio. Hello, a special needs rescue dog has a happy ending in sight. Yes, coming in. Good, cool, thank you.
Well, it's time now to see what's clicking in Cleveland. For that, of course, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, happy Monday to you. Hope you're staying warm.
Happy Monday, Betsy. I am. We're going to get started here, though, with the story about the pandemic striking again. Major League Baseball guidelines will keep fans out of spring training workouts this year. The tribe announced today its facilities in Goodyear, Arizona, will not be open to the public due to the pandemic. As for spring training games, Goodyear Ballpark is still working on that fan policy. Right now, the tribe's first spring training game is scheduled for February 27th. That could get pushed back, though, because of high COVID numbers in Arizona right now. Of course, we will keep you posted. And African Safari Wildlife Park is officially breaking ground on its new expansion project. Park representatives told me that they try to add something new every year, and this year they are really going big. Guests can expect 22 more acres in the drive-through safari and several new animal exhibits. As of now, the park reopens on February 26th, and that is for drive-through safaris only. And a happy ending is in sight for a special needs rescue dog in Westchester, Ohio, after a big letdown. This is Jack. He's a 9-month-old American bully, and this sweet boy got stood up by potential new parents in January. He has spina bifida and clubbed feet, so he can't walk far, and he will always have to wear a diaper, so he's already got it tough enough. Well, when Peach's Bully Rescue posted about the No Call, No Show adoption meeting, America fell in love and shared Jack's story far and wide, and 26,000 shares later, the rescue tells us there have been almost 300 applications to adopt Jack, and Jack will be meeting with potential families soon. And Betsy, the rescue has also gotten tons of donations. They posted that they are very thankful for all of this awareness by sharing Jack's story.
Oh, it's such a sweet story, too. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We'll see you again tomorrow.
It is. It's a great story. Next on What's New, these pandas are making the most of a cold situation. We're going to show you how a panda enjoys snow like nothing else.
I love the slide. That's amazing.
They're so cute. They're like...
Check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. A snowy first day of February in Northeast Ohio. I gotcha.
Hi, Al. How are you? A snowy first day in February in Northeast Ohio. Okay, imagine that.
All of our thoughts about work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Yes, we're hearing more cases of people who've received the vaccine, but then still.
Testes, testes. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, yes. We're here. We're here. We're just trying to stay warm.
We wrap up What's New by showing you this. Not everyone is hating this wintry mix. This weekend, a pair of pandas at the National Zoo in D.C. made the most of the weather. As you can see, they rolled and slid down hills. They did this, Betsy, all day long. And here's the great news. If you want more of this cuteness, the zoo has put a live panda cam up in their exhibit. That's the D.C. Zoo. Just Google search Panda Cam.
Oh my gosh.
Loads of fun.
Look at that. Fantastic.
I now need one of these.
You're
I
probably
need a
going to see
panda.
them like, you know, snacking or sleeping too. Like they don't do this like constantly, but now is the time because they're still getting snow out there. So it's going to be interesting.
Fun to watch.
Play. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on What's New.